Anyway, welcome to World Podcast episode 30. I am one of your hosts, Joe McAllister, joined by the ever-lovely Doxy.
Hi.
The ever-lovely Brian Quiglin.
Hello. Hey, how's it going?
Quigs trying to head fake me, saying we're not live.
That was me.
Dox,
It's not me.
we're live.
Find me, Joe.
Oh my God.
Just kidding. I'm so hungover. I would die. You would kill me. You would kill me in one punch.
Wouldn't
One
be
punch.
a fair fight. One punch Joe. So, I'm at least a little more awake than last week. So that's why we're calling this officially week, whatever. It's
30,
episode 30.
Episode 30. Yeah.
I'm noticing some lines on my webcam. We're going to have to deal with it. I'm sick of messing with cables after moving for like what seems like an eternity. So,
That's fair, Joe.
As long
That's
as they
fair.
hear the dulcet tones.
yes. My ASMR is not popular. Not popular with anyone. But anyway, it's another week full of games, chock full of games news. Lots of VR stuff actually happening in the past couple days. I think today was the big Oculus day. Did you guys check anything? Watch anything?
Nope.
No. I caught up on a little giant bomb stuff. Looked neat. CKD made it.
Yo.
What up, CKD? And hello to everybody. We love you, chat. We are so excited to have you with us. You always give us tons of energy and tons of good stuff to talk about. So feel free to throw stuff out in the chat at any time. But yeah, VR, it's a thing. It's weird that it's here.
Well, and PlayStation VR went on pre-order today on
Oh,
Amazon.
did it?
For how much exactly was it?
It was $400.
If I recall, we called it.
Yeah, we
Just
nailed
saying.
it. Nailed it.
I mean, we missed like 30 other things, but this one we got.
No. Don't talk to Michael Pachter anymore. Talk to the Homer Podcast. We are your analysts.
Oh, yeah.
There was some pretty interesting stuff, but nothing that really looked incredible. EVE Online, like it still kind of has that tech demo feel to me, like a lot of the stuff that's out there.
Yep.
I might be getting an Oculus for review. I'm kind of hoping and praying, but if I don't, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm also not going to run out and
Right.
spend the money to buy it.
Right. Not right away, at least.
Nope.
Yeah. Yep, I think we're on the same boat. Wait and see. And I would caution, unless you have the disposable income, any of you in the chat that have that disposable income, please, good God, stream. Let us know how it is. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I would venture to guess that...
I got
Most of us are
Gear
probably
VR.
How is that? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I haven't gone crazy on like the 6 games they gave me, but it does have Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes in the 6-game bundle, which is awesome.
Such a good fucking game, man.
But I haven't really gotten into it, but it was neat to take it home to my folks who are like, totally not tech savvy people, and to watch them put it on and be like looking around. And my dad like looks all the way behind him and he's like, hey, there's a person leaving the auditorium in the back. And you're like, all right. He's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of one of those neat things, and that's kind of what I think of when I think of Gear VR. I'm like, okay, it's going to be one of those cool things. I'll play with it for a bit, and when we go places, I'll take it with me and show people like what, and granted, it's not the highest caliber level of VR there is, but it's kind of neat to show people who have no idea. They're like, I hear people talking about it, but I have no idea what it is. Well, just put this on your face. And they're like,
Totally.
okay. And of course they're like, okay, what? Oh, this is like, you can totally see they're like doing like the head thing where they're like looking around like they don't know what to do. It's great.
Did you push them?
Did I push it? No. I mean,
It's a golden
I did-
opportunity.
I mean, this is my family, so I didn't do anything too obscene, but there is like that part where they put it on and you're like, oh, I could do things to you. Oh, now I understand why there's like pictures of people like, pelvic thrusting and in front of people as they're doing their VR stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, it's not the greatest VR thing. I mean, it wasn't like when I put on the Vive for the first time. That's a
Right.
completely different experience, but
Right.
it's still pretty neat, and will I use it often? Not really. But was it great for being a completely free thing that they sent me in the mail? Yes.
Say,
Totally.
totally worth the
Yeah.
free 99 you paid for it.
Yeah,
For the
exactly.
low price of on the house, I'll take that
Yeah.
VR experience.
Yeah. It's the best free VR headset that was sent to me this week or last week.
I
What?
love that the chat is just over there, just
Yeah.
hard left.
I'm
Uh,
playing with them. It's fun.
any games we're excited to play using VR? No.
Left 4 Dead.
No, Left 4 Dead would be terrifying. Dying Light would be terrifying because
Amazing. You
uh,
mean?
there's that awesome like slow-mo look behind you do in Dying Light. Okay, I want to play Dying Light in VR really bad.
Yeah, man. Also, racing games.
I
Like
actually
any
was.
and all racing
Oh
games.
yes,
It'll be crazy fun
Project
in
Cars.
VR.
Woo. I was actually thinking when I was watching some of the stuff earlier that I do want to play a Call of Duty because I want to see that scene where you run out of the back of a giant airplane and skydive, a Halo jump or something crazy.
Totally. All the mech suit stuff that Call of Duty, that like all these war games really are doing.
Yes, yes. Sorry, this just brought up a discussion I was having at my full-time job. We're all a bunch of nerds where I work, and we were talking about VR. And I thought the coolest thing that could be done is I believe From Software used to make Armored Core. Like a solid mech game, even Mech Warrior, any good mech game where I can look around
Yeah.
and see a switch and have to reach out and touch that switch
Fuck yeah.
or reach down to eject. That probably didn't look like ejecting.
Yeah, you look like you're doing something ejecting.
Yeah. Oh God! Welcome to the Home Pro
Sorry.
Podcast. We don't edit.
Sex jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not your fucking
Kids ask
podcast.
ask your parents what ejecting means. There you
Oh.
go. No, you know what though? One of the games that did come in the bundle that I have not played yet, but I definitely do, is called Land's End. It was from the people who made Monument Valley, so I'm definitely looking forward to playing that. So of all the VR games, it is definitely on that list.
Minecraft in VR is gonna be phenomenal.
Definitely. I think that could be
Gonna
really
be
cool.
so good.
I wonder if Lego's working on anything. Because they've got to be, right?
They have to.
They gotta be.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
So, do you think you could handle horror VR? I couldn't. I can barely, I can handle normal VR, but it always gets me once in a while. So,
I feel
no,
like
I wouldn't
Layers of Fear I would have been able to do, but Outlast I would not have been able to do. I'm gonna try it. Like once the time is ripe, of course I'm gonna try it because my viewers are meanies
They
and
demand
they like
it.
it when I'm scared. But I'm pretty excited about horror VR. I think it's gonna be really fun.
That's awesome.
Okay, I really want to ask Doxy something. Go for it, man.
Do it.
Mufflingo. I
In the
like your
meantime-
name a lot. That is fun to say. Mufflingo.
It is pretty awesome.
That's right. This is that
Hey,
time.
guys, it's fun.
Yeah, shoot questions. We will, we don't have a lot of news. Honestly, it's basically VR and
And I haven't played anything. I've watched Mike play a couple things, but
I played
That's all I
MLB
can
The Show. Does anybody want to hear about baseball games?
sure
Oh
don't.
yeah.
Crickets.
Oh, absolutely not.
Squeep, squeep, squeep.
No, of course we do. I played some Japanese game.
Totally
we got
didn't see
that
that one
going.
coming. That's not in your wheelhouse at all.
No.
Tell me, Brian. What'd you play?
What was it like to step outside of your comfort zone?
No, so I'm playing Knights of Azure for review, and there's a lot of hack and slash kind of Dynasty Warriors esque pieces where you're. So there was a big battle like way back in the day, and the demon lord was slain by the saint, and when he died, he kind of exploded and all of his blood went over, and if you got touched by his blood, then you turn into a demon, and he's coming back, and so you're kind of killing demons and collecting all their blood, and it's kind of interesting because you can kind of use the blood as a currency, but you can also use it to kind of like a la Dark Souls, where you offer up your blood that you collected to raise your level. So you're constantly kind of balancing between, okay, well, I kind of use this as a currency and I use it as a leveling tool. And then in between, like in each level, they only let you play for like 15 minutes. So like if you don't complete the entire level in 15 minutes, then it just boots you right back to the hub. And so like wherever you are,
That
too
sounds
bad.
hectic.
Yeah, so it's very like so it can be a little frenetic at times because you're like, okay, like watching the time go down, you're like, all right, do I leave here now and get it so I can go back to the hub and save, or do I continue pushing on and seeing if I can make it to the next one? And sort of like you're looking for almost like you're looking for a bonfire kind of thing. Oh, and thank you, Super Chomp Monster. I appreciate that.
So real quick, just to answer Mafwingo, yes, I get it all the time.
That's what made me laugh before Brian started talking. Sorry to rudely laugh before you start describing this game you're playing, but yeah.
No. So you're going around and you're killing demons, and so what I do like is, you kind of have like your usual attack buttons. So you kind of have like a weak attack, strong attack, and like a super kind of attack that uses as a magic point type things. But you can also have like familiars that follow you around. So you have like 4 that you can throw out at any one time. So I have an attacker one that just attacks all the time, one that actually works on defense and like tries to grab aggro from things, one that just heals, and then one that like fires magic from afar. So that's kind of like the original set out that they do, and I'm trying to play with some of the different familiars. They call them servans. So you basically have this little team of guys running around with you all the time. So that's kind of cool. It also has some RPG elements, so it kind of throws a lot of these things together, but it's a very
This sounds
Japanese.
fun as fuck,
Yeah.
man.
It's pretty
It sounds
fun.
Really fun.
It's pretty fun, but I mean, it's not very. The story is not particularly strong. Of course, it has, large-breasted Japanese girls. So that part's kind of like,
what are you gonna
whatever.
do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? But I'm enjoying the game.
Darn it. Golly. I hate large-breasted, beautiful women. Gah.
Yeah. It's the worst. But yeah, no, I am enjoying it. I'm only through like the first, 10% of the game, so I'm still kind of running through it. I went home for Easter, so I had a few days of not playing. I'm also playing. I guess we're talking about what I'm playing, so I guess that's what we're doing now. I'm also playing Marble Mountain for review. That is kind of like I played it at PAX South. It was a kind of like a Marble Madness with like an updated kind of version. And while I'm enjoying it, and it has some of that Marble Madness, it doesn't have like that same level of level design that Marble Madness did. I mean, and I understand that Marble Madness is like a completely different level of game design. But I mean, so the game's still fun, but it's not quite as
polished.
Yeah, it's not quite as intriguing as Marble Madness was. Even though Marble Madness, I mean, this is unbelievably beautiful comparatively to the 8-bit version of Marble Madness, but it doesn't have that kind of same feeling of urgency that you have when you're playing Marble Madness. You're like the whole time you're like, okay, oh, like that. This is more like, okay, cool, all right, now I made it, cool, all right, I made it, all right, I'm good. Yeah, that's kind of, so it's fun, but it's not it's not quite what I was hoping for it, but it's still enjoyable.
Sorry, CKD's just strug life over there, but it's good to hear. It's enjoyable. Better when games don't suck.
Yeah.
So to kind of double back on the chat, I want to make sure we're not skipping too much here. There was mention of Dark
Malvano
Souls
had a
3.
Great question, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I think GamerGurf was right before that with we can touch on the Blizzard butt news because it is kind of controversial. But as far as Dark Souls 3 goes, Oh, well, then I can tell you guys all about Blizzard Butt News.
Yeah, I'm excited. I like where this is going.
It's just a weird thing. Dark Souls 3, we're probably not going to touch on too much because we want Doxy to get the full experience going in blind.
Sorry.
But Quigs and I are both reviewing it, and it's really good.
I thought you weren't allowed to talk about it, or can you talk
Oh,
about
no,
it
I can't
now?
give my official critique, and that is not my official critique
Okay.
yet. Anyway,
Blink-
I can stream it, though.
Blink
That's
several times if you're going to give it a 10 out of 10.
I could. We grade on a scale of 5, Brian.
Oh. Well,
Which makes
you
it
can
like
still give it a 10.
the
So
worst.
blink 10 times if you're going to give it a 10 out of 5.
The worst part of that is I don't want to get into review like how reviewing is the worst job in the world again, but we don't do on a half scale or like a miniature, like any sort of condensed point scale. So it's either a 4 or a 5. What?
Tag your spoilers, Joe. That was really funny. So I want to answer that question. It was a good one. Where is it? Okay, so I got a question. I can probably afford one $59.99 game right now. So out of these games, which one do you guys think I should get? The Division, XCOM 2, or Dark Souls 3? Having not played XCOM 2, but hearing only wonderful things about it, playing the Division and staying totally blind to Dark Souls 3, I'm going to have to go with Dark Souls 3. No, but seriously, I do love the Division, and that's my answer to that question for now. But that could change when I play Dark Souls 3. I can't give an official statement on that.
Melveno, I think you need to think about what type of game do you like. I feel like the XCOM 2 experience is something that you're going to have by yourself, but it's going to be very rich in both in narrative and in gameplay, and you're going to get a lot of hours of it. The Division is going to be something if you are going to be playing with your friends. Like if you have a couple of buddies that I've heard, like if you have 3 people that you're going to be playing with, or a couple of people that you can really focus in and play the game with, it is a phenomenal experience to do. So maybe if that's already in your future, maybe that would be something you're looking for. Dark Souls 3 is going to be that consummate challenge. So if you're going to be looking for that kind of singular experience, yet have it be a really intense experience, then maybe that's the game for you. So kind of look within yourself. Love yourself. No, but seriously, just think about those things and choose what's right for you.
There couldn't be 3 different games on that spectrum.
Yeah,
like
that's
they're
apples, oranges, and bananas, man.
I honestly don't think you'll be disappointed. I think the only one you could possibly be disappointed with after having... I haven't played XCOM 2, but I've played the hell out of XCOM, and everything I've heard has been positive as well. The only one that might set you up for disappointment may be the Division if you're expecting things that it won't be. So I will just say that. Dark Souls is...
It's kind of like a watered-down version of, like, Grand Theft Auto, I want to say. Like...
It's got, like, moments of... It feels more like Diablo to me.
It
Like,
feels,
I
yeah, it
see
feels
the
like
underpinnings of
Borderlands a lot. It feels
Yeah.
like Borderlands a lot. We talked about this,
For
except
sure.
for without like all that humor. Basically.
Let's see. Gamer Girl also brought up the butt controversy with Blizzard. So there's a female hero in Overwatch that had a pose that was basically with her back to the camera, and because she's wearing like a tight spandex outfit, it's revealing. Like you see what is the outline of a butt. What happened is essentially some people got upset about it, or I don't know if it was a lot of people or if it was like a very small. What I got from it is it was a very small, like 2 to 3 people were like, oh yeah, that's a butt. That kind of makes me feel weird, but okay. Or they got very vocal about it. I don't know the full story. I just know that pose was completely removed from the game.
That's stupid.
For that character. Then the next post that I saw was actually of like 4 other characters that had the same exact pose because they are wearing more clothes. Like there's a male with he's like a gunslinger, so he's wearing like a poncho and he's wearing baggier clothes. But then there's a couple females that don't have. They're not as revealing, I guess. This is the one character, so that's that. I mean, Blizzard's kind of made the call at this point. It would look really weird to go back and pipe back in a butt pose, and she wasn't like bending over in a like explicit or, if you ask me, provocative way. She's just kind of resting her weight on one hip with her gun in the air or maybe down at the hip. It's a cool pose, I thought, but I didn't really draw too much attention to the cheeks per se. But apparently it pissed somebody off or upset somebody, and that person or group of people got a response from Blizzard. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are.
That upsets me a lot. That's so stupid. Like, we hypersexualize men in video games all the time.
Hot
Constantly.
Ryu's a thing.
Fucking look at like Kratos and like Marcus Phoenix and all these big buff dudes that are like the society's standard of beautiful masculine men, and like nobody bats a fucking eye. But the minute that we're celebrating the beauty of a woman's body, it's some hot ticket issue that makes me mad.
I get it if it's if it's over the top, like if it's just gross. When you get that feeling. Like I kind of expressed my feelings about Street Fighter. I was like, it just doesn't feel like those characters need to be like that. And it doesn't necessarily mean that this character needed to have that pose, but her outfit's not changing. It's just this one pose.
Yeah.
Do we have a kitty down?
That's awesome.
She fell into the garbage.
All right,
Kitty
so I'm
turn.
looking at the. So I'm looking at the So I'm looking at the picture, and I'll be honest. This is usually something that's kind of up my alley, where it'd be like, no pun intended.
Damn it.
Where I would be like, okay, it doesn't necessarily need to be, I don't think that characters necessarily need to be sexualized, especially in a game like Overwatch. But I don't really see anything particularly, I think if she was bent at the waist and kind of, turned her head looking back at the
like
camera.
A come hither sort of thing going on.
That would be totally unnecessary. This is, this is a little more benign to me. I don't really see a particularly big, but I'm perfectly fine for them removing it if they felt in any way that it over sexualized someone that they wanted to pull it. I'm cool with that.
Thanks, Anna Sarkeesian. Thanks.
Oh,
Or Anita.
come on.
Her cousin, Anita. That's. Anyway, let's not go down that road.
Yeah, because I think Doxy and I might be on different sides of that.
I think we might.
He-Man is much more than a meme. Let's get that straight. First of all, I don't want to start another controversy, but He-Man is
He-Man.
my childhood.
And She-Ra.
Chitara. Man, I love that I grew up in the 80s. There was some weird discussion about Aloe. Hope you're feeling better, Dunce Base. I don't know. Either
It's
way.
base.
Base? All right.
Yep.
I said Lance Bass.
Me too,
earlier,
by the
so-
way. Feel better.
So, He-Man is love. He-Man is life. Praise him. So,
Ina said, hey.
what else? So let's chat about this. Slayerman has brought this up a couple times. SCP. Have you guys ever heard of SCP in general, as well as I believe he's mentioned he or she has mentioned a game that is Containment Breach, I believe it was called.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything
I
about
haven't
it.
played it. Okay, so there's like, are you familiar with Doctor Who at all? I feel like we've talked about this and you're not.
No.
Like, do you know what the Weeping Angels are?
Oh yeah, sure, of course, yeah.
How
I
if
know
you
Doctor
like,
Who.
if you like look away from them, then they come up at you real quick, and you need to always be looking at them so that they remain a statue.
Sure, of course.
It's like that. The bad guy of
Like
the
the
game
ghosts
is like
in
that.
Mario.
Yes,
See?
only
I
much
get it.
faster and deadlier.
I know those ghosts are
And
pretty
you're
deadly.
just like in this abandoned lab, and you're trying to escape it. Basically,
Nice.
it's pretty creepy. It's pretty creepy, but it's, I don't know if it's enough to warrant like an entire night of spooks.
That the SCP website that's just been mentioned in chat is where that's what I'm familiar with, because I just poke
There's
around.
some
It's
crazy awesome stories in there.
Yeah, it's really cool that it's all pretty much, from what I understand, like community driven with short stories, but it's neat. Doxy, have you been playing anything? No? Makeup.
Makeup.
I actually just got my Ipsy package in the mail today, and I'm going to make an unboxing video as soon as we're done here. I'm very excited.
That's a pretty bubble wrap right there.
Yeah, I like it. It's pink.
I will have to do that, Slayer. Man. Appreciate it. Jaw, we did kind of talk about VR. Like actually, I shouldn't say kind of. We definitely did. But we didn't really jump into it. We basically said that it's out. We'll kind of play the wait and see game until there's a little bit more. I know some of the big websites have reviews. I might actually be getting a review unit, but we're just kind of. We would caution everybody to just take a look, see what's out there, see what kind of coverage is there, watch some videos. Unless you got the disposable income, it's probably a wise bet to just wait and see, just chill. But I'm hoping that it takes off.
Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt. I thought you were done talking.
No, I was just kind of trailing off.
Did I talk last week at all about having done the GOG charity stream?
No. I mean, you told us
briefly,
but tell us about it.
Yeah, I had a guest spot hosting for their marathon event, and I played the Long Dark, and that was really fun. And also, I was probably more entertaining than I have ever been on that stream, so that felt pretty good. And the Long Dark has had some serious updates to it that I rather enjoy. So there was always, it would like keep track of your calories and like energy spent doing stuff and like how cold you are and how tired you are and stuff. But they have fine-tuned the ever-living shit out of that. There has always been like wolves and stuff that could kill you and stuff like that. It feels like they made weapons a little bit more sparse. They added a like difficulty scaling system where you can like play on different difficulties, and you can have, and there's like more difficult areas, and there's just more areas. But that game is super totally going places. Like that game absolutely nails the feeling of like loneliness and panic that you would have in a situation like that, where it's this like calm kind of panic, you know what I mean? Where you're like, okay, nothing too intense happening right now, but this could get really intense, and I need to take care of this. And it's really cool. The one gripe that I have with it is that loneliness like really gets to you after a couple hours, and you just don't want to play the game for much longer than that. But it's fantastic. The atmosphere is great. The music is great. The sound design is great. The art's really cool. That game is it's a work of art.
Is this game still in early access?
Yes.
I
believe it's still in alpha, even.
I need to get back into that. I was kind of looking forward to the story expansions and thought they'd come a little sooner, but I like the fact that they're refining what that experience is. I really, really like that game, even when it was, in its first stages.
Yeah, for sure.
Very
it's
well
good.
Done. Art style's great.
Really good.
It's pretty brutal, too. Like, you can easily...
Yeah, it's hard.
It takes you a couple times to figure out, okay, I don't want to slam all these energy bars first, and I need to make sure that I stay warm pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one. Slayerman asked if we would play a Spider-Man game in VR. I feel like if any game's going to make me throw up...
That would be so fun, though.
It would be awesome, but I feel like that's the one. Unless they nailed like that perception of reality,
you
could easily make it bad.
I guess my main fear with that would just be if you were trying to swing through the city, like how quickly would you have to react to not just completely face plant in the middle of Times Square? Speaking of which, Spider-Man in Times Square. Funny, did I tell you my Spider-Man story?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, my wife and I are walking through Times Square last week, not this past weekend, but the weekend prior, and we hear fire engines, and the fire department's trying to come through the intersection, and there's all these cars in front of it, and it's like honking on the horn, and the sirens are going, trying to get these cars through, and sure enough, no joke, a guy in a Spider-Man costume jumps in the middle of the intersection and starts directing traffic. He's like, no, you come on, no, you stay there. It's like directing traffic, and of course I'm walking across going, thanks, Spidey!
That's the best. That makes me so happy.
Like, only in Times Square in New York could this happen. Yeah, Spider-Man directing traffic. Saving New York.
I guess while we're on it, Melvino asked if anybody's been playing any DLC. I've been playing the Assaultron DLC for Fallout 4, and It's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. I kind of
Super worth.
It depends on the price, because I did get it for review. I'm still not done with it, but I don't think I'm done with it. I think I just finished the story. But you get to make a robot, and it's awesome. You can also, once you finish it, you can then modify Codsworth, and oh man, I made Codsworth into this tank of a dude. Like, I don't know if you both play, but Codsworth is the like super British floating
the
Mr.
butler,
Handy. Yeah, he's
butler
like
bot.
he's a pretty scrawny little like ball that just flies through the air. But I gave him like Robo Brain treads, and then the largest, most heavy armor I could find for everything else, and changed his head to this like big industrial Assaultron head, and he's like got 2 nail guns for arms. He's amazing.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
About $10. Thank you, Lunch Snake. $10. I think it's worth $10.
Probably worth, yeah.
You can also make Assaultrons are like the scariest enemy in that game to me, because they can grab you and just hit you in the face with their laser beam from their eye. And you can now make them, and they can be your companion. And you can upgrade stuff like storage capacity, so you can basically make a walking container that also has some weapons. And the Assaultrons are like this super fast, mobile type, whereas you can also make like a sentry bot, those big old 6-wheeled crazy tanks. Like it's awesome. It's really well done. Like, it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was kind of an attempt at just getting some content out to stave off the like, oh, we want more. But I definitely think it's worth it if you like Fallout 4. And I jumped back into Fallout 4, and I had read a lot of criticism lately of the game, and I just have to say, man, fuck the haters. I love that game. Like, it's so good. I love that game. I think there are a few things they could have done differently or better, but I still love that game. There's still a lot to, like, stumble into and, like, infer stories from surroundings. I walked into a cranium extraction place, and there was a large black, like, scorch mark on the wall where they extracted something out of that cranium. It was awful.
Oh.
He did indeed keep the accent. So you have a giant. I had a giant British rolling tank that kept calling me Mum, as we destroyed everything.
Your life won't pass.
Oh yeah, good old Barb of the Wasteland. That's my lady I made. She's terrifying. I played it on Xbox One for review. Went back and bought it on PC, which is, in my opinion, the way to play the game. And I did my Xbox character as the like positive, like, we're gonna save the wasteland, and then Barb of the Wasteland is just a dick to everybody. Just kills everything.
She's a real asshole.
She is. She's stern but fair.
All right.
So, anybody know the
You had
release
some
date?
elementary school teachers like that.
Exactly. When you look back, you're like, oh, I learned something. The creation kit should be pretty soon, I think. So hopefully that'll open up. Lunch Snake was asking about the creation kit. That should open up Steam Workshop, which will be amazing. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, mods for that game are gonna be
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Cannot.
And Mafwingo, I have not had hot dogs at Burger King. Have you had them, and are they any good?
Yeah, please, somebody else.
I'm
try
guessing.
this.
I'm guessing the answer to that is no.
I love hot dogs though.
Oh no, I love hot dogs. I just can't imagine.
Fast food hot dogs. Yo, fast food hot dogs are pretty legit sometimes.
Yeah, but they're not like, I don't know.
Steak and Shake knows what
Steak and
they're
Shake's a
doing.
different level though. That's like not even
Yeah,
really
yeah.
fast food. That's
Now
like,
all I can think about is Steak and Shake.
ugh. Well, that's the end of the show because we're all really
Sonic.
hungry.
Sonic makes a really good foot-long coney, you know, where it's like this big and it's just got like, it's just drenched in like chili and cheese and.
Doesn't Sonic do beef franks though?
I think they do both.
Pretty
I don't
sure.
I don't like the beef hot dogs. I don't like them.
I don't know. That's a
BK
good
is
question.
most certainly better than McDonald's. Man.
I prefer McDonald's fries.
I
and
prefer
chicken
McDonald's
nuggets.
fries.
No, Wendy's is
On
better
both
than,
accounts.
No, Wendy's has better fries than both of them. But
Wendy's
Burger
has
King-
good ass fries.
Yeah.
With the cheese sauce. What the fuck is this podcast right now?
Welcome to the Home Row Podcast.
This
gaming
podcast is about
show.
delicious food, is what it's
Yeah,
about.
it's about eating right.
Yeah, we have come full circle. We are now the Hot Pocket podcast.
Welcome
That's
to the
right.
Hot Pocket Cast. Hot Podcast. Oh, man.
Just saying.
Any other questions not like Burger King related? Even though I do wish Sneak King would come to Xbox One. Actually, I think it might be backwards compatible.
Is it backwards compatible?
Is
That would be fantastic.
Sneak
I'm pretty
King-
sure it is, now that I think about it.
Also, if you Google Blizzard butt, you'll get Blizzard Butterfinger, which also sounds delicious.
Which, yeah.
Whoops. Okay. Well, and my phone just Googled Blizzard Butterfinger because I said, "Okay, Google." Is Sneak King backwards compatible?
God. So, okay, what have I missed?
Yeah, this is. I'm just now looking at these pictures of the Blizzard butt scandal, and it makes me so. That's nothing. That makes me so angry.
Right?
So
It's
you're
not
going to
even that bad.
upload Stardew Valley in episodes longer than one day? Nope. not unless they're like I die or like it's a super short day or there's like a festival or something.
How long does the day usually last in Stardew?
About 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah, then probably I wouldn't.
Yeah. Like, and nobody wants to watch a fucking 40-minute episode of gameplay.
I don't.
Brian, you had that
Well,
look like I might
Well,
like that De Niro.
so,
like
I mean, I think there's definitely an audience for something like that, but for the most part, what I've noticed is once a video kind of creeps over that 15-minute mark, you really start to lose people. Because even I do
Yeah.
it. Like once I kind of hit like the 10 to 15-minute mark, I start glazing over, and I'm kind of like, well, I gotta click anywhere else.
Unless it's like
Really.
an Isaac or like Spelunky or something kind of run. Like I don't want my videos to be longer than 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it would have to be like if once I was watching someone, I would rather just sit and watch them stream rather
Mhm.
than watch a video for
Totally.
that long.
Like you can't interact with them. Also, I don't like to do a whole lot of days in a row because then I can't get the feedback that people are already so mad at me for not knowing a bunch of things about Stardew. You know what I mean? So I like to wait for those comments so that I can learn and
Yeah,
apply that knowledge to my future gameplay.
and I think that's one of the awesome parts about streaming is that there's that constant feedback loop.
Totally. Doxy, do you plan on playing Stardew when it comes out with multiplayer? Yeah, I think I'm going to co-farm with Def, if that's the way that it works. Maybe also Sinnoh and Meeks, not entirely sure.
Of course, but it's fine.
Can you
What
like
else?
straight up Dark Souls invade other people's farms?
God, I hope it's not like that. Fucking Stardew griefing.
What
No
would you
thanks.
do?
I don't know.
Like, ooh, I planted some weeds. Look out!
Better
You
get your fertilizer
could like
going.
dig up their crops before
Like,
they're ready and shit. You
In
can
3
fuck up their
seasons from now,
jam,
you are
man.
screwed. I just put some grubs in there. Yeah.
Hamburger, I told you not to or do. It's your life. But look what happened.
No.
What are we
Too
looking
bad.
forward to at E3? All of it? I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to how everybody handles it. Like, not just... I'm really looking forward to like how EA and Activision, since they won't be on the floor, are going to do their little satellite events. But I'm also
Uh-huh.
really interested to see how sites handle it, just being a reviewer.
As
and
different as it's going to be.
yeah, it's so weird. Like, there's...
Yeah.
I wonder if... I hope that there are videos showing the, like, floor space inside, too. I was hoping I would get to go, but I unfortunately have some other plans that are interfering with it. Yet again, this is like the 4th year that I've had the opportunity to go and just can't.
Killing me, Joe. You're killing me.
I know. I wish I could.
I at least have a legitimate excuse. We have a baby on the way.
I have a legitimate excuse. Not a baby, but...
Then it's less legitimate.
I'll be in the Dominican Republic for a wedding. So
I'll go
Yeah,
in
That's
your
slightly more
place.
legitimate.
in my stead.
Yeah, give me all of your opportunities, and I will go.
I'll
I
be
will
like,
go.
yo, editor. I trust her. She'll be fine. She won't talk about butts the whole time. Like a lot of the time. Farts and stuff.
I like how we started
Okay.
talking about E3 and being like having a legitimate reason to go, and I look over and it's just about butt fingers on the chat.
Yeah, butt fingers.
Keeping it
Blizzard butt.
Blizzard butt. Thanks, CKD.
Ooh, do you guys think No Man's Sky will live up to the hype?
I mean, I don't know if anything could live up to that hype.
I know. I'm getting concerned that it's like in my head just too much. I'm still gonna buy it. Still gonna play the hell out of it.
Yeah, I think.
To be Brian, amazing.
Yeah. Doxy has way too much hair. I only have like, look at this. Seriously, look how terrible that is. I'm so old.
Well, time for a haircut.
There you go. But you'll see. Actually, what Doxy could do is she could pull it around and
There you
like
go.
tie it together down here like that. That would be perfect. Well, that's nasty.
I read that as Cleveland. That's nasty.
Nasty.
Uh,
So I guess it depends on what your expectations are going into the game. So I'm kind of thinking of this game as No Man's Sky as being this kind of relax and just fly around and look at stuff and explore. And I mean, if you go in thinking it's going to be like the next Call of Duty or something, I'm not really sure what your expectations are. I think you may be disappointed in that. But honestly, as long as the game has some cool exploration and some flying around, I'm in. Like, I think I'll be fine with it.
I think so too. I think even if you're looking for any, like, I don't want that game to be. I know I can find my friends, but I probably won't want to. Just fly around, check stuff out, chill. That's my plan.
Slayer Man, thanks. I appreciate the beard love. Honestly, it's the one thing I can do. It's really the one thing I can do. I have a beard, so I done it. I done did it.
Hey, Cascon, I am looking forward to Xbox E3 too, but according to Brian, it's because I'm an Xbot. But I want to see if this like upgrade path is something that they're gonna actually come out and be like, "Yo,
Yeah, man.
Here
The
it is.
modular system.
yeah."
Yeah, I look forward to hearing about that for sure. I hope that that's the direction that consoles are going.
I do too. I think I'm totally okay with spending a little bit of money every 3 to 4 years, just like I do on a PC. You know.
Mhm.
I guess I'm totally fine with the idea and the concept. I just want to see how they're going to implement it.
Mhm.
Because once again, we're talking about having different level skews of, so, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and make a game. Okay, say it's like 4 years from now, and then we've had some of these upgrades. Okay, so I have some people who are still on Gen 1 Xbox Ones, and they have this much power. And then I have some people who are on Gen 2, which means they're automatically at this point. And then there's some Gen 1 people who have upgraded to Gen 2, and then there's some Gen 2 people who have upgraded to Gen 3, and there's some Gen 1 people who've upgraded Gen 3. And how do you make a game for all those different groups? Like, I mean, you have to always still go to the lowest common denominator.
Same way that they do it on PC, man. Like settings. Like, it's not too entirely difficult.
I think it's a matter of settings, but also look at the mobile phone market because I think that's kind of what they're. That is a huge water bottle. You're welcome. Thank you, Hydro Flask sponsors, please. I think they're kind of looking at the mobile phone market too, because you upgrade phones every 2-3 years, maybe every 10 to 12 months, depending on who you are and what your situation might be. But each game, like we'll say, works on this model. There's going to be a certain point where when this goes into effect, they're going to say, all right, we got to cut it off. We can't have our developers focusing on Xbox One 1.0. We need to have them focusing on 1.2 or greater, or PS 4.1, whatever it's going to be. Both of them have to do that at some point. So it's just a matter of developing something that works across the board on the architecture and then hoping that you can educate the consumer base to be like, this is how the market works now, right? Same thing with how the first time we saw DLC, when we saw that fucking horse armor, we were all pissed off, right? Little did we know that a couple years later, it'd be like, yeah, I'd put a couple bucks into a game that I really, really enjoy. I'm totally okay with that. So the market's going to change, and they're going to kind of have to direct that conversation in the right way without pulling a Microsoft pre-Xbox One release where it's like, this is the only box you need and requires an internet connection. And no, you can't trade your games in. No, you can't do what you want because this is our box. I mean, this is your box. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, I guess then if they're doing that, it's sort of like the whole 3DS and new 3DS. So if you have a new 3DS game, then it can only be played on the new 3DS. But if you have an old 3DS game, it can be played on either or. And my only fear is that, like you said, if they do not explain it to the consumer, then you're going to fracture your market.
Yeah, totally agree. There's plenty of opportunity for them to goof it up.
Oh yeah.
There's probably more of that than there is, the chance that it'll work out absolutely perfectly, for everybody. Because somebody's going to get upset, right? I just bought this PS4 last week. Well, at this point, I would tell you, almost anybody, don't buy a console. Because you want to wait and see what happens in the next 6 months to see if they're going to bring out something that's great. Like, I love my PS4,
Totally.
I love my Xbox One. But if they announce something new that is like a genuine leap in technology that will get me, 60 frames on every game on my Xbox
Then you
One,
just wasted $400 fucking dollars, basically.
oh yeah, I'd be writing Phil an angry 140 character message.
He's usually pretty good about responding to certain criticisms.
He's awesome.
I give him a lot of credit.
Yeah, I like that. He is definitely like the right guy to be in that position. What's the stuff about the PS 4.5? So that is actually something that at GDC was happening in San Francisco this last week, 2 weeks ago. And a couple of Kotaku folks and, a lot of publications overheard some developers talking about a possible PlayStation 4.5, another SKU coming out that is more powerful, can run games at 4K resolution, can do basically a lot more than what the current hardware can do. It's basically something similar to what Microsoft was doing, but to me it sounded a lot more like they were bringing out a whole separate SKU that's like, this one's better, instead of some sort of modular approach, which seems like what Xbox was thinking, but wasn't really. I mean, they are always, both of these companies are kind of entertaining all options, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the PS 4.5 is just this like code name that was revealed by Kotaku. PlayStation hasn't even come out and said they're actively doing anything with this. They've said they won't comment on rumors. But the story on Kotaku by, I think, Patrick Klepek was the first one to break it, said that many developers have confirmed that there are talks of dev kits going out soon. So that's what GDC is for.
Right. And shoot, I apologize for butchering it. Rayoran?
Ryoran?
Yeah, sorry, mate. I totally butchered your name. Why not just make a PS5? Because a PS5 has to be a significant
gigantic leap, yeah.
Compared to the PS4. It's not like it cannot be an incremental, otherwise you're going to end up in the Wii U situation, and no one wants that. So, yeah, they would definitely want, it has to be a leap above and beyond. Like, it would have to be more than just a go to 4K. Like, that's...
Yeah, like, think of your PS3 versus your PS4. There needs to be at least that different.
Ryoran. Got it.
Ryoran. Got it.
Thank you.
Yes, that's why. That's why you can't call it PS5.
Yeah, and I think that would, if they were to just go ahead and be like, hey, the PS5's out, how do they then attack? That fractures the user base completely.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah.
Well, there would be outrage.
Yeah. Riots in the streets.
Also that.
The Wii U's not a bad console, but they just...
I love it.
They took their sweet time in the middle of that console's life with trying to give it an identity.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Please don't take what I said as a disrespect to the Wii U itself. It was a commentary on the handling of the gaming.
The marketing on that was
right. It was
not fantastic.
They did well. The problem is so many consumers went to normal everyday consumers. I'm not talking about like us or those of you in the chat who are more educated on these things, but we're talking about like regular mom and pop who go into Target or Walmart. They thought it was some kind of like thing you bought to upgrade your Wii. Like they did not realize it was a completely new system, and it just the minute you start confusing consumers, you are done. Like you're already 3 steps behind.
Hmm.
So you're better off just looking forward to the NX like I am.
Yeah, I hope something cool comes out with the NX. I think they're playing it really close to the chest, so I'm hoping that it's going to be a shock when it comes. I think they know they've got to make some big moves, right?
They gotta do something.
I really like Dark Firewind was saying that it seems like they're heading towards Steam boxes, and we all know how that turned out. And I agree. And I kind of made the point in the chat there that I think Microsoft or Sony kind of have a better just position that they're in because people don't. You know, obviously, we follow this stuff, like hound dogs, right? We're right on the scent. But
Right.
if the holiday gift guide comes out, on Good Morning America, and they say Microsoft is bringing out this brand new console or this console that's iterative on this, but you can play all your Xbox One and your Xbox 360 games on it. Plus, you can play all these new games. They're going to look great. You can do this, this, and this. Those are the people that are going to buy those that holiday season, as opposed
Right.
to my point there being that people don't really look to Valve to make a lot of the hardware. And I think that's where they're struggling, is they want to be that company that makes hardware, but I don't think that they're necessarily hitting it in the right way. I don't think they have a direction that is like hitting the mass consumer base, but also they're not nailing these purists on the PC. I don't know. They're in a weird spot.
Yeah.
But part of me also wonders if Microsoft doesn't have to get Xbox One games running on PC if they're going to continue this convergence of Windows 10 and Xbox.
Yeah,
They have to do something, yeah.
it is a little bit concerning.
There's definitely a strategy there. I don't know what it is yet, but there is definitely some kind of...
I mean, there better be.
Yeah, they're going to need... I think they're... to the point brought up earlier, I think Phil is one that can do it. But I'm wondering if... Like, the thing that also concerns me is there's still a problem hitting 1080 60 on these consoles. Now. Like, right now, there are games that struggle with frame rate.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All of them, almost all of them struggle with frame rate. And maybe they just haven't figured out the hardware. That could be very possible. It's only been, 2-3 years since they came out.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Or 2.5.
Yeah, man, that does not feel like that long ago. But
Ooh.
at the same time, we're going to continue to expect games to look better and better. And while we have things that are kind of there, like, they're still going to have to figure out this frame rate. Because frame rate, to me, has become, like, the biggest thing that I can tell when a game just feels better.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think we've all had that situation where everything is fine, and then all of a sudden, and then we're going back again, we're going to catch it up again. And
Yeah.
I think we've all had that, and it just completely breaks you out of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an immersion buster in a big way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
huge.
GTA is like the best example I can give, where a ton of stuff goes up, explosions everywhere, planes smashed into the ground, and it just slows to a crawl. Whereas on PC, I can get it running.
Dark Souls 1. Oh my god, why can't I think of the name of that place? Fucking, it's underground, it's all poisonous and stupid, and it's the worst. Blighttown. That shit is unreal.
Let's see. I thought Brian forgot how to word properly. What do we
That
think?
does happen. As an aside, that does occasionally happen. I do forget how to word properly.
What do we think the best... What game do we wish had backwards compatibility on Xbox One? Melvino picks Diablo 3. Mine is easily Red Dead Redemption,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
because I haven't played it yet, so I definitely would like that on the backwards compatibility tip.
For sure. Blighttown.
Thanks, CKD.
What do I want with backwards compatibility? Like, what game? There's a lot, man. I like Left 4 Dead is the first thing that jumps to mind. That's like one of my 10 out of 10 games that.
The original.
Mhm.
Splinter Cell Blacklist, just because I never finished it, and I'd like to go back and finish it.
Those later Splinter Cells, pretty awesome. Conviction included. Oh, poor CKD is trying to give us
He's like on like a 20-minute delay.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Dox, I will let you know that there is a poison area in Dark Souls 3.
There's always going to be a poisoned area in Dark Souls. Always, always, always.
It is something else. Black Ops 2 zombies. Oh my goodness, yeah. Black Ops 2, for sure.
Night away win.
Oh, we win. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thank
We
you.
love you. We love everybody. Let's see. We're coming
Except for you,
up
CKD,
on...
because you weren't here.
Yeah, CKD. We told you.
Of course, he doesn't know we said anything because he won't go for 20 minutes.
Yeah, he's
But it's
watching.
fine.
He's watching stop motion home row. Well, we're coming up on an hour. Do you guys have any other questions? Anything else? Any
Yeah.
other games you've been playing?
Air your grievances, chat.
Yeah.
Speak now or forever wait until next month.
Trying to think. There's nothing I have. Yeah, there's nothing else I've been playing. Automatron, MLB.
I watched Mike play a game called Flame Break that seemed pretty cool. The art style was not my favorite. It's those like weapon
Someone talked about that.
looking.
Ooh, what happened?
I don't know. Everybody slowed to a crawl and then sped up really
Yeah.
fast, and it was awesome.
Okay, so I watched Mike play a game called Flame Break for a
And
little
we're
bit,
back.
and it looks like he loves it. He thinks that I would love it, but it doesn't seem like something that I would love to me. But he thought the same thing about himself, but he played it, and it's like a roguelike kinda. It's a little bit inspired by FTL. It looks like it's a twin stick shooter, top down. And you have there's so much stuff. Like there's so many parts to this game that I couldn't possibly cover everything just like briefly mentioning it. And the one thing that I want to say is I hate the art style. It's like weaponographist style art.
Oh yeah, that like cartoony
Yeah, it's really
kinda,
bad. It's really bad. I
you
don't
are
love
not
it.
about it.
But Michael is absolutely addicted to it. He is going crazy on that game.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, someone actually mentioned it in the chat a while back, and I was like, oh yeah, but I don't remember what they said.
Oh, well, whoever you were,
Yeah.
say whatever you want to say.
CatsCon,
Don't
I bought a S7 Galaxy S7 Edge. That's what I just bought this a few weeks ago.
You love it.
So far,
I'm so jealous.
I need to what I need to do is actually figure out like what I do like about it and what I don't like about it, like so I can actually make the phone start working for me as opposed to me fighting the phone.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate the speaker. The speaker on the bottom is terrible as far as I can tell. If anyone has had better luck with their speaker than I have, please let me know. I did take it into the shower with me, which was great, except for the warm water. Well, I was trying to listen to a podcast.
Right.
But the
Get a
warm
speaker,
water
man.
was I have one at home. I was in New York.
Ah,
I didn't bring
gotcha.
it with me. So the warm water was pausing and unpausing my show because it does it by the heat of your fingers rather than the touch. Yes, I have some power issues. That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's all of a sudden, it seems like it really takes a lot of things that should. I keep telling it, stop using these programs all the time, and it just doesn't listen to me. So,
Lame.
yeah, I'm still working on that.
I was
Now, in the phone's defense, I do have a Pebble, so it's constantly doing Bluetooth all the time.
yeah.
Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I was saying in the chat there, my S6 has been a nightmare. My biggest thing is I love the phone, and I think you guys have been privy to some of this in our chat. But I love the phone when it works the way that it's supposed to work, but it just doesn't do that often enough. And I do use it. I go on site to clients, and I have to use it a lot. And when the battery life is sub 4 hours, like routinely, I just have to keep it on the charger all the time. I have to keep it on there all the time. And then I've been told multiple times that nothing's wrong with it. It's, the most frustrating, like, experience breaking thing. And even, Samsung and Verizon both they've been trying to help. I know I've worked in customer service pretty much all my life. I know that there's, are limitations to what you can do, and you can't just ship somebody a new phone. But holy hell, yeah, mine overheats too. Whenever it gets hot, that's how I know it's about to just start chewing through battery. Yeah. The power saving mode, I did have to leave it on that for days and days, and then I started having a problem where I would hit the power to unlock it, to like slide, and it wouldn't hit the power fast enough, like it wouldn't stay on long enough to let me swipe. It would like pop up, show me the time, and then fade right back out. And it was the amounts of times I have said I'm gonna throw this fucking phone through the window is like too damn high. But Brian, there is an app that I use called Power Clean that will find apps that auto restart and you can stop them. Instagram is like the biggest piece of garbage.
So I have Power Clean, and I keep telling it. I use Pocket Casts. I think it's fabulous. I think it's a great app. But I keep telling it, don't let this auto start. Does it anyway. I'm like, thanks, Power Clean. Good job.
Maybe Power Clean needs an update.
Maybe. Could be. Also, no wait for restaurants. Like, I might just uninstall it so it stops running on my phone.
GamerGurf, I don't have a charging case because I can't stand like phone cases. I have a very, very thin case.
I hate them too. Oh God.
But I do have like one of the little battery packs. It's like about the size. It's thinner than my cell phone, but it will charge the phone to 100%. But it's just annoying to have it plugged into something else or buy another device.
I still have my old S5.
If it keeps trucking, I'd hang on to it. The S7 is apparently better, but I haven't, And welcome to the Homer Tech Podcast, the Tech Wing.
Yeah, I guess so.
As opposed to the fast food wing.
Hitting it all. Have we heard of Lost
Politics?
Ark Online? Oh, God. Looks really good, and was just wondering if you guys have heard of it. I have not heard of Lost Ark Online. I mean, the only Ark I've heard of is Survival.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I just went to look it up, but that's all I've done is I've now Googled it.
Yeah. Checking it out.
I'm going to actually just open a new tab and get that in there for after the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Well, cool. I think that's just over an hour. It's typically what we keep these shows to. Word. I think we got a good show. I love our chat so much. You guys get us through these tough times where there's no news and we haven't played any games. So we thank you. You are the best.
Absolutely.
We will go ahead and export this to our YouTube. But for now, Doxy, where can we find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/ZER0DOXY. I will be streaming later tonight, so keep an eye out for that. You can find me at youtube.com/ZER0DOXY. Got tons of content coming up that you're going to love, so keep an eye on that as well. And you can find me at twitter.com/ZERODOXY because I am awful at branding. So keep an eye on that, and you can find all the videos, all the streams in real time.
Whoop, whoop. Quigs, where you at, buddy?
Sure, you can find me in the Twitters as Quiglin, that's QUIGLIN. You can also find videos of mine on youtube.com/CoinOpTV. That's all one word. I haven't really gotten to the streaming again. I keep saying I'm going to do it, but then never do. So hopefully one of these days I will do that.
Same boat.
Maybe this weekend, because my wife is gone for the weekend, so maybe it's time for me to do some streaming.
I think so. I think that's a good call. Good stuff. And I can be found at twitter.com/Joe_McAllister. That's MCCALLISTER. I also have a twitch.tv/Joe McAllister, but I don't stream that often. Lately, it's because everything I've been told or wanting to stream, I can't stream because it's under embargo. So, lame.
Embargoes.
And time is a precious commodity in our lives right now, unfortunately. But Homer Podcast, you can find us over at, oh my goodness, youtube.com/Homer Podcast. We actually have it now. So this will go straight up over there if you want to watch We also have our audio up on Shout Engine and iTunes. Feel free. I will be loading. I'm going to apologize in advance if you subscribe to the feed because I am going to be firing in probably 3 episodes. I think we're back on the audio side of things. But if you'd like to listen to us on the go, we would love you even more. I don't think it's possible, but we'll try.
Oh, Joe, I just remembered that we are still looking for subscribers on the YouTube channel because when
Once
we do
hit 500.
yep, we're having a
Floodgates.
huge giveaway. Yeah, I am adding. They gave me a T-shirt for Live Lock, so there is a double XL T-shirt on going in the pot. I also have a code for Final Fantasy VIII on the PC. So a couple more things I just got. So we'll throw those into the bowl, and you can start win some prizes. So the best way to do that is to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
And share with your friends.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Make them
Sharing
sick
is
of hearing
caring.
about us.
Yes. Yes. Well, for the Homer podcast, I need to. Oh God! Everything went away. I
Bye.
did the bad thing and didn't prepare the thing.
Did it just
So
close out, or
no. I'm gonna. You guys can still probably see us for the Homer podcast. I'm your host Joe, and bye until next time.
Bye, guys.
see you guys?